Thank you, Gary. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the things you find out real quick around here is if you say, gee, can I do that? 90% of the time somebody's going to say, oh, yeah, sure. Go for it. We let Spirit work. And it works this way. You are free. You are free to smile in the midst of massive challenges, knowing that you have chosen to play and that you have dominion over all appearances. You have chosen to play. O loving Father, Mother God, we acknowledge your presence in this moment, moving in and through us. This day, we choose to listen. We choose to feel and know the truth of who we are. In this moment, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the Christ. Amen.
The daily word for today is divine order, and it's going to be read for us by Alice. It's by Alice.
Well, in case you might be wondering about my low, low voice, I have just returned from a cruise to Hawaii. Wonderful cruise, but I also brought back a wonderful little virus with me. Yes. No, this is the 12th day. No. For February 17th, with every thought, every word, every action, and every prayer, I transform my world. In God mind, the world is in perfect order. When one part of my life seems to be in disarray, I transform the condition by seeing it rightly. Beneath every seeming disorder is spiritual order, ready to be manifested through focused prayer and appropriate action. In prayer, I align my mind with God mind. God is the one power and one presence, the divine energy within all people and all situations. I breathe into this awareness and realize that even my enemies are divine beings, capable of transformations. Through spiritual awareness, I discern the divine order that underlies the universe. Aligned with God, I transform my world with every thought, every word, every action, and every prayer. All things should be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40.
One of the things I know about myself is the more I lock in the truth of who I am, the more I can express it in my world. Let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's share. I am now in the presence. Gently, easily, effortlessly, with each breath I take, I move to that place in consciousness that is my secret place. It is my inner closet. And as I have rested my body here in the stillness and the silence, I quiet my mind. I allow all those thoughts of what I should have done to gently float away. I allow those thoughts, feelings of what I have yet to do this day to sit quietly, knowing I can pick them up at any time. But for right now, in this moment, I breathe and I rest. In my prayers, I am learning to ask, here in the stillness, in the silence, answers come. For you, perhaps in music or word, regardless, it comes to you in this moment, wrapped in love. Before you call, I will answer. Here, in the stillness, in the silence, I listen. For I know that which I need in this moment is given. This day, in this moment, I choose to reach out and claim these gifts. I embrace them. I immerse myself in them. As I do so, every cell of my being is re-energized, revitalized. I am. Affirming my oneness. I know I'm a channel through which good works. In this moment, I choose to allow this flow of life, of love, peace, harmony, joy to move through me. I'm grateful for the opportunity. These thoughts and feelings move into this place, into this room, and joined with other thought of like mind, growing in strength and in power. I am now in the presence. From this place, the flow continues. It touches each and every one of God's children here in our community. I am now in the presence. Across our state, across our country, touching each and every one of God's children. I am now in the presence. Around our world, throughout our universe, touching each and every one of God's children. I am now in the presence. As we allow this truth of us to flow from us, we know that somewhere, somewhen, someone is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I am now in the presence. I am grateful for these gifts. And that gratitude returns to you. The circle is complete. I am now in the presence. In this moment, as this flow continues, I rest in it. I live in it for one holy moment. Knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, holding to this experience, we now gently, easily, and effortlessly bring our attention back to this place, to this now. And we join together and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, "Pray therefore in this manner." First Sunday in Lent. which of course is biblically based, yes? No. There is no biblical reference to Lent. We made it up. Now, it's based on good spiritual principles that goes with self-expression. And the principle is this. Before he began his ministry, Jesus spent 40 days in the desert, yes? Before he led the people and before he went to the mountain, Moses spent 40 days in prayer and fasting. So it's based on sound spiritual principles. Lent is. But it's a weird one. Because it's not 40 days, it's 46. We don't count Sundays because those are feast days. So let's fast and then break fast and feast. Aren't we silly human beings? We make stuff up as we go along because it fits. And we justify it by saying, I am right and you are incorrect. Getting away from the wrong piece. My way or the highway. All this kind of stuff that gets in the way of the truth of who we are. And that's what we're talking about this morning in this notion of self-expression, is we are learning how to express the truth of who we are. And sometimes that's uncomfortable. Sometimes that's uncomfortable because we look at our world and we say, we give it what I call the yeah buts. Yeah, but Rob. And then you have a list of what's not good and perfect in your world. In the beginning, God created all and named it good. What's left? Nothing. Because it's all there. What are you expressing? If you're expressing other than all one goodness across the board, you have some work to do, he said, raising his hand. Just haven't quite gotten it yet. But we're working on it. And we're beginning to understand what it's about. Is that we are allowed to, try this one on, we are absolutely allowed to express the truth of who we are. No one can prevent you from doing that. No one. And I just heard somebody go, yeah, but. Good for you. And here's why. Because the yeah buts are what are opportunities for us to learn how to take our world on. Regardless of the massive challenges, you're allowed to smile. I was thinking, as I was looking at that particular statement, I have a friend who absolutely does not, in any way, shape, or form, understand what it is we do here. And the reason I know that is because he says, oh, you guys are all Pollyannas. All you do is ever smile. You don't recognize the world for what it is. Blah, 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 blah. And I just go, Bill, it's okay. I love you. Which really puts him over the bend. And then bring it back and say, wait a minute. I got what's going on out here. Don't misunderstand me. I know what's going on in my world, but that's not the truth of who I am. The truth is, I am a beloved child of God. That's the truth. Now, what am I choosing to express? And this is what the self-expression should be all about, is what am I choosing to express? The truth of me. What attributes are you expressing today? We have the opportunity to pick all the time. I love this. Alice shared with us one that was really hugely important. I caught a virus. No, you didn't. You said, thank you, welcome. You didn't catch anything. It was already there. How do I know that? In the beginning, God created all and named them good. There we go. See how easy this stuff is? For what it's worth, Linda's been playing this game for about 7 days too. And we've been playing this whole thing called I'm a Wonderful Child of God. And yes, you are. You're working on it. That's the whole point. You're recognizing that that's what's showing up in my world isn't the truth of who I am. That I can move through these things by expressing the truth of who I am, regardless of the challenge, regardless of how it shows up in my world. I get to choose what it looks like. And I forget. I have to share a forgetting story with you. Somewhere around Thanksgiving, the weather turned bleh on Friday. The rest of the week it's all wonderful, but on Friday, bleh. How do I know? Because I haven't been golfing since then. And I'm a fair weather kind of golfer. If the sun is out, I'm going. If it's not happening. And guess what? After all that time, I could still, A, find my clubs and still hit the ball. Occasionally where I wanted it to go. This remembered. This said, yeah, but it's been so, the yeah, but it's been so long. And my golf ball loves me and said, you're right. Or you're left. And I still had a wonderful day. Why? Because I chose it to be wonderful. It wasn't about where the ball went. It was about being out. It was about being in oneness. It was about sharing, having an absolutely great time with other people who had the same kind of challenges that I did. I've been out in 2 months. Yay, the sun was out. Guess what? Even when it was rainy, cloudy, and everything, the sun was still out. But I chose not to participate in a given activity. We choose all the time. And we just need to give ourselves the power to recognize, take our power back, if you will, that that's exactly what you do. You choose. A lot of times we think, oh, I didn't have any choice. So-and-so said I must. Anybody had that one, not counting today? Yeah, of course, we've all been there. They say, I must. No, they say, and I go, okay. I choose. I choose. Based on what? What's going on here? I went into the office, not here, a few years ago. I was with a company, and I went in the office, and husband and wife were the owners. And as they hit the back door, it was really clear that they had had an off day. Okay? Nobody besides me ever been in that one. You recognize that? And I had the opportunity, because I know both of them and love them, to take sides. And guess what? I didn't. What I decided instead was, this is not the truth of who I am in the moment. I need to be, for me, there was a lot going on in the world. I needed for me to be quiet. I needed to be in order. I needed harmony. That's what I needed. I don't care what they needed. They were still doing this. But what I needed was that, okay? When you choose to express yourself, the truth of you, your world changes. It took about 5 minutes. Just breathe. I am order. I am harmony. And pretty soon the bickering goes away. And it was one of the most productive days we'd had in a long time. For which I take full and complete credit. Right? Which on the surface sounds just a hair egotistical. Just a hair. But I made a choice of how I was going to express the truth of who I am in my world. Now, I could have chosen to go right along with the program, and we do that all the time, is what's going on in my world, so I'll participate in that angst. I'll play that game. The world. Yeah. Not true, but it's okay, because I want them to think that I'm, and then put a word behind it for whatever you think. I want them to like me. I want them to love me. I want them to honor me, respect me. Pick a word, doesn't matter what it is. So you change your behavior based on what you think they want. What? That's not expressing the truth of who I am. It's the world in which I live. I got that. But in that moment, I have a choice. In that moment, I have a choice. Do I want to participate there, or am I willing to take time out, breathe, and then express the truth of who I am? Take an aspect of being and say, this is the truth that I am in this moment. I had a great conversation with the notion of being. Okay? You realize that your whole world would change if you'll start from being. In this moment, right here, where you are right now, who would you be? Who would you be? Right now, in this moment, who would you be? Right now, in this moment, what would you be? That's a choice. In this moment, I choose to be unhappy. Yay! Your choice. Or I can choose to be the loving child of God that I am. I can choose to be powerful because it is the truth of who I am. I can choose to be in harmony because that's the truth of who I am. I can choose to be love because that is the base of my being. So I get to choose who to be. Unfortunately, we have years and years and years of this. When you figure out what you will do, then you can have and then you can be whatever you want to be. That's what our systems teach us. Do this, then you'll have, then you can be. Oops, I'm still trying to figure out where that started. So we need to reverse it. We're going to flip it around. Self-expression is about learning who I will be in this moment. And I put it to you that way on purpose. Understanding that you have the opportunity to change who you will be moment by moment by moment. In this moment, I choose to be a channel through which good works. In the next moment, I choose to be a counselor. In the next moment, I choose to be a teacher. In the next moment, I choose to be a student. And all throughout it, I choose to be the truth of who I am. Learning about the truth of who I am. Sharing the truth of who I am. For me. And oh, by the way, just because I say it doesn't make it true for you. One of my favorite conversations of all starts with this. Rob, no offense, I love you, but you're full of prunes. Yay! Yes, from your perspective in the moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Why? Here again, another opportunity, watch this, another opportunity to stay in touch with who I am. I don't buy this, I don't believe that. Good for you. What do you believe? That's the conversation that then it gets stalled. I don't know. Good! See, Rob always has that answer there, which is very irritating sometimes. Okay, I'll lighten up. When messages come, answer. I'm just saying. I had a thought. I really did. Out it went. Choice. There we go. I get back. I choose in the moment. Okay? And I have an answer for me. So when somebody says, well, what's going on with you? What's in your world? I have an answer for me. In this moment, I'm having a heck of a fine time. I'm really enjoying life, each and every breath of it, each and every step that I take. Why can I say that? Well, at one point in my life, every step I took, I lived with a capital L, lived in caution. Notice I did not say the word fear. I lived in caution because every step I took was an invitation for somebody else who was not happy that I was in their country to express themselves in a violent manner. Every step I took for 18 months, every step I knew where I was going to go when we euphemistically say, when the defecation hits the ventilation. Okay? So you live the experience you know, right? I was back in the world, as we said, for 6 months before I stopped myself from living that step-by-step motion, where every step I took, I knew where I was going to go next. Okay? And made a choice at that juncture. It didn't happen quick, as you tell, 6 months. Didn't happen quick, but when it did, I made a choice. I no longer have to be aware and cautious about every step I take. I am in a different set of circumstances now than I was before. What a great lesson that was for me. I am now in a different set of circumstance than I was then. By the way, that's true for this morning as opposed to yesterday at about 4 p.m. Now, the reason I tell you that is because I mentioned that on Friday I played golf. And all the muscles in my body that were not used to that did what when I went home? They reminded me. Ugh! And then, not to be outdone, oh no, We have chores to do. So we've been working here at the sanctuary in Bosworth Hall, and so Lynn and I spent 7 hours here with others getting that room done. And I went home last night and my muscles said, that wasn't too bright. And I'm here this morning to tell you that the muscles don't care. They're just smiling that we're still here. They were reminders. The circumstance were reminders that you made the choice. So if you're going to complain, at least understand what you're doing. It's okay. And then have the good sense not to do that again. Maybe. Until the next time. But see, I take it on me. These were choices I made. I chose to go play golf, knowing I hadn't done it in 6 months. I chose, after having done that, to come and work in an area that, as my wife says, 26 years, I've never seen you pick up a paintbrush, and here you go. And I didn't pick one up yesterday either. It was a roller. But it's a choice. Right? So the circumstances of yesterday are already behind me. I am now here in another set of circumstances, and I get to choose. What does that look like? Who will I be in this moment? In this moment, I choose to allow myself, this body temple, to say, I got you. Thank you for letting me know that I made some questionable choices. But I made the choices nonetheless. And because I know who I am, I know that I heal quickly. Why? That's the truth of who I am. I am already perfect and whole, yes? Of course. So if I'm feeling something other than that, time to express in a new way. One of the things about this lesson this morning that came from the daily word for me is the word action. Action. In my thoughts and feelings, I come up with being and direction. In my words, I give power. And then, in order to bring into expression, I need to take action. Just sitting here and waiting for good things to happen doesn't work. You need to take the action step that goes with it. Okay? How will I act out, if you will, I am love? Anybody want to see how? Here it comes. That's it. This isn't hard. See, you thought it was hard. No. Right now. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just so happy I can't hardly stand myself, which you'll talk about to me later. And I got that. And it's okay. Smile. Smile. Live. Breathe. See, each time something shows up in your world, that's all you need to do. Take a deep breath. That's a breath of life. You made a choice in that breath to take another breath. Now, we do a lot of stuff unconsciously. I got that. We're learning how to come from every step consciously. Practice conscious breathing. If you want to try that sometime, it's really kind of fun. I must admit, I can't hold it too long. But just think about it for a second. Consciously paying attention to every muscle that breathes in. All the muscles that are working, the expansion to allow air to move in. Consciously feeling as you let go. Feeling the transfer of oxygen from your lungs. New stuff in, old stuff out. The air, the new stuff moving through your whole body, renewing, regenerizing, revitalizing, readjusting with every breath. And you can't help it. As long as you're breathing, it works. Right? It works better when you begin from this place, understanding who you are. Express the truth of who you are on a regular basis. And if you're not sure what that looks like, practice it. It practices this way, quietly all by yourself when no one else is watching and will think you are weird. I create space where I see me and I say, I love you. Together, I love you. Paint a picture of you. It is your body temple after all. I bless you. Together. I bless you. Very good. Oh, you didn't say that well enough. Together. I bless you. I bless you. Now breathe it. I bless you. Oh, thank you. That's much better. I love you. I bless you. I see you in the light and love, the truth of who you are. I appreciate you. Together. I appreciate you. Now I take the leap. I look past all the surface right to the truth of who I am, what I know I'm going to express in the next breath. I behold the Christ. Together. I behold the Christ. In that moment, you're expressing the truth of who you are. And for that, I am grateful. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.